Well, hello everyone, and thank you for stopping by. My name is Barb Ryder. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and we're going to start our first week of 12 weeks of fall. These are the two sets that we're going to be using, and I'm hoping to teach you some techniques or maybe something you haven't seen before. But if this is new to you, thank you for joining, and make sure to hit the subscribe and the bell so that you'll get notifications every time that I upload one of the new videos. These will be different than what I share on my Facebook Live every Thursday at 7 p.m. So go check me out on Facebook, Stamp with Barb Ryder, and hopefully we'll learn some new things together. So the first thing I want to share is starting out with fall. This is the weekend of August 29th, and sunflowers are in peak and beautiful form right now. So I wanted to combine this Gorgeous Leaves stamp set, and it does come with dies, but I wanted to combine these great textures with the Celebrate Sunflowers that's in the annual catalog. This one is in our current July to December mini catalog. So you can find out all the information right up at the top there, barbryder.stampinup.net, or you can always contact me. You can make sure, give me a message. I'd love to hear from you. So give me a comment, actually, if you like what you see. So to get started, we're going to use a coloring medium of markers and stamp pad. So I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way, and we are going to make a fun project. Well, actually, we're going to make two cards with this the stamping that I'm going to be doing here. So we're going to be using the large sunflower and the leaf, the splotchy speckly from the Gorgeous Leaves, and then we are going to stamp Thanks a Bunch, which is also part of the sayings in this stamp set here. Okay, so to get started, I have taken some of our basic white cardstock, which is 5 and a half by 8.5, and that's because we're going to cut this down after I get it stamped. Okay, so let's see here. I'm trying not to get too much shadow. I think hopefully it'll be all right. Oh, there's lots of shadow, huh? Let's see if we can change that up a little bit here. That's a little better. Okay, so what are we going to do? What I'm going to do first of all, we're going to be using the 2020 to 2022 in colors, because these have some great fall colors. We're going to be using Cinnamon Cider, Bumblebee, and Just Jade. Now I mentioned that we would be using some pads also. I think what I'm going to do is take the Just Jade ink pad instead of the marker, and I have my ink pads right here, and then also the Cinnamon Cider. These are the ink pads. So to start out, the markers work best on the red rubber. So we have two different types of stamps. We have the polymer and we have the red rubber. So I'm going to start out, well, this stamp set is the red rubber. And the markers work best on this type of stamp. So I'm going to start out, and I always like to start with my lightest color, and our markers have two tips. They have a brush tip end, and then they have a fine tip end. We're going to use the brush because basically what we're doing is we are going to be just rubbing this on our sunflower, and I'm doing it sideways, as you can see, and I'm just getting color all over the tips of the sunflower. So yes, this does take a minute longer than just dunking it right into the ink pad, but that's okay. I want the look of the two-tone and without having to do masking. That's another technique. But what I'm doing is I'm just getting all of this lighter color ink on all of the flower petals. Can you see that ink on there? See how that's wet? Okay, and that's what you want. So I always start with my lighter color, just like I said. And yes, it's going to look like it's drying, and you're going to be like, oh wait, it's not going to stamp. It will. I'm going to show you what you do to make sure that it will stamp. Now I'm going to take the cinnamon cider, and that's going to be the inside of my sunflower. So all I'm going to do is just make sure to color that right in. I'm going to come right up to that yellow, and that's why you want to start with your lighter color first, so that you don't get dark colors on your light marker, if that makes any sense. Okay, so I think I got what I need. Put the lid on that, use a brush tip end, and what you do is I have to pull this towards me. Now you can see it's still kind of wet, but I want to make sure that it is more moist. So what we do is we huff on it, and so you basically just blow your hot breath on there. Sorry, that sounds kind of weird, but I'm going to stamp that down and just push that down onto my cardstock, and there you go. Okay, it's not super dark, but that's okay. That's quite all right. You'll see why it's going to be okay in just a minute. I'm going to do the whole thing over again because I want a couple of these right in the middle of this 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. All right, let's get this. Now another bright color that would work really well for the sunflowers would be a lighter yellow, which would be Daffodil Delight, which is one of our colors in our brights. And it is also a really more of a true yellow. This has a little bit of a mustardy color in there. Another yellow that would work really nice would be Crushed Curry. That's a really dark one. All right, go back to the cinnamon cider and just color in this little area here, kind of the round part of the inside of our sunflower. Okay, gotta huff again. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp one of those right here. Okay, that one's a little darker, and that's good. Let's see. Now let's take this leaf, and let's go ahead and use our Just Jade, and I'm going to just ink that up. And again, just make sure I have my ink on there. I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to put several of the leaves here. So there's one. And let's turn this way and come right here. Let's go ahead and do this. I am actually going to come right up here at the top and put one. And let's come down here and let's go ahead. Let's go one down here. And maybe one more. How about like this right here? Kind of right there together. Okay, so there's my Just Jade. All right. And then we're going to go back with this cinnamon cider. And I don't have, where's my scrap paper here? 1 second. Thought I had it right here. Here we go. All right, I have a scrap over here on the side because I want to stamp off. I'm going to ink this up. And then I'm going to stamp off on my scrap, and then I'm just going to come in and put some of these speckles down. I'm going to do that a couple times here. Stamp that off again. I don't think I got off there completely. There we go. And how about right there, maybe there. Just kind of fill that out until I don't have any color left. There we go. Lots of speckles, which really looks great. You might not be able to see it as well here, but it's there. It looks great. Okay, now before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamps. in my well-loved chamois. This is just a product that will clean your stamps, along with, we also have a stamp and scrub with mist you can spray and use. This just is quick and easy because I don't have to spray it. I just have to rinse this in water, and after that's done, then I just keep it until it gets dry, and then when I go to clean it, I just run it under the water until I can see clear. That's an extra baby wipe I stored in there to keep it moist. Okay, so there is that. So we've got those done, and I'm just going to put them up here out of the way. All right, so here we are. This is what we got. But I want to give it a little more vivid color, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use one of our water painters. These come in a package of 3. You have a fine tip, you have a fat tip, and squeeze that back in there, and then you have a medium tip, and that's what I'm going to use, is the medium tip. And you just squeeze this. Actually, I'm going to pull out my scrub here. I'm going to stick it over here on the side, because I'm going to make sure that my water is flowing down in the tip there. I just want to make sure that that is wet. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to come in here, and I'm using the thick basic white. Okay, it's not a watercolor paper, however it does absorb, you know, when you're trying to do some coloring, it absorbs the water better. Let's see here. I'm also going to do one more thing. I am going to go ahead and put some ink. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to use my, actually, you know what, I think I'll use my silicone mat. This is another way you can use your silicone mat. If you didn't know this, here is a tip for you. Because this is water repellent, you can take your marker and you can color on some of the ink, and then you can go just like a water palette, just like that, and then you can come in and look, it gives you more color instead of pulling from what's already stamped. Can you see how that's changing the color? But so basically I'm just doing a little bit of watercoloring and using my silicone mat. There's that one. Okay, now if I'm ready to go to another color, yes, it's got some the cinnamon cider there. All I have to do is squeeze my water down and wipe that, and now it's clear and it's ready to go to the next color. So I need some bumblebee, and so I'm going to come over here, put some bumblebee on my mat, and just pick up some of that with my watercoloring here. And I am going to just come and pull some of that color towards the outside in coloring these sunflowers to give me a little more yellow happening on the sunflower. So this is a way that you can use your markers and then also get a little more color instead of, you know, keeping all of that detail in there, and just pull out some of that yellow. Alright, just squeeze some more water over here. Might have to get a little more of the yellow on there. This looks like it's working pretty good. Okay, I don't want it to be heavy. If you want it to be super dark with the yellow, then you can actually use your blends or your watercolor pencils, any of the other coloring mediums that we have. But I just wanted this to have a nice little easy look about it. Alright, I'm going to just squeeze out the water here, and I probably have enough water, and this darker colors work better with watercoloring and just pulling the color around. So I'm going to see if this will pull a little, unless I need a little bit of the jade. Now you could take your marker, or you can always take your ink pad. This is another way that you can do watercoloring. See how it's got some ink squeezed here? You can just go here and pick up some of that like that. And then I'm just going to bring out some of the color in these leaves, just like this. And again, I'm not being super precise here. I just want it to be nice, flowing watercolor kind of look, soft. Because the thing is if you color real specific and a lot on the paper that's not watercolor paper, it will cause little piling on, or peeling, I don't know what you call it, piling. The fibers just break down and they get in little balls, and you don't want that, okay? All right, so there is that. I'm done with the watercoloring. So, why did I do this on a 5.5 by 8.5? It's because I'm going to go ahead and I am going to clean this right off on my chamois here, just like that. Another thing, you can take it and rinse it, but hey, when you're crafting, whatever works, right? So that's what we're doing. We clean the ink right off of there. All right, so now I'm going to grab these things and get them out of the way. I'm going to put my markers back in my case. And again, you can get these, I believe they are $15 for the 5 markers. But these are the in colors from 2020 to 2022. Put that there. And let's go ahead and grab the cutter. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down to use on an actual card. So I'm going to move my stamps out of the way because I need some space for my cutter here so you can see. Now I have it upside down, so let's turn it the right way so we can, well, I don't think we need to. We don't need to pull this out because basically what I'm doing is I want this to come down to 4 by 5.25. This is just a half a sheet of cardstock. See, here's my score where I cut, there's 5.5. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it over to 5.25. There's 5. Quarter is right there. And just going to slice off a little bit. And then I'm going to turn it this way. And this is 8.5, and I want it to be 8.25. So basically I just need to take 1/4 of an inch off, right? So I can use this side because there's numbers over here, or I can pull out the side and measure over to 8.25. And actually I'm going to cut this side off. 8.25 right there. Oh no, did I do that right? No, because I want this to be 4 by 5.25 and this 4 by 5.25. So this is right. This needs to come down to 8. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to 8.25. And then I'm going to turn it back on the other side. So sorry, that's a little confusing. I don't mean it to be, but I want you to see this is the process that I do when I create. Okay, so now this is 8 by 5.25, and I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. Where does that put me? Puts me almost probably in the middle of my sunflowers, and that's exactly what I want. Okay, of course I could have just stamped these separately and done that, but now I have 2 card fronts that we're going to use. Now you could take this and you can turn it this way, or you can, whichever way you want. And you've got 2 card fronts at once here. All right, so I have already, one more thing I need to do. I do have my card base, and that's going to be, this is our 8.5 by 11, and basically you just cut it at 5.5, and you've got your 2 card bases. Now, if you're looking, if you want to have a fast tip, lay this down, put it at 4.25, which is half of your card sheet. Take your scoring and score. Okay, take it out, turn it to 5.5, and slice that, and you already have your score in both of your pieces, and you've only done the scoring once. Okay, so there's my 2 bases. Now I also am going to go ahead and move this out of the way, and I have already pre-cut, if I can grab it here somewhere, right here, 2 pieces of cinnamon cider, which are let's see here, I think they're actually the same size as this. I think I meant to cut this down a little more. I sure did. Well, And I am not one that edits my things. So this is how my process works, you know. So I need this to be 3 3/4. So we're going to come here to 3 3/4 and lay that down, cut that off at 3 3/4, and I also need a little bit off of here. So let's see, this needs to be 5 by, so yeah, I just didn't cut enough off when I did it. I should have cut more and I didn't, because I had already pre-cut this. See what I'm trying to do here? We want this to have a nice little frame around it. So one more time, this needs to be, instead of it being 5 1/4 by 4, I need it to be 5 by 3 3/4. So let's see, there's 3 3/4. So let's do that. And got more white on this side, so we're going to cut that at 5. So if you are new to stamping, if you've been stamping a while, you know how you just have to figure these things out. And I've been doing it for so long that I automatically kind of know, okay, 1/4 inch is what I use most all of the time, because that gives me the best framing around my card. All right, here we go. So there we are. We've got our 2 pieces here. So we need to stamp our sentiment, and I have just a 1/4 inch. Is that what I've got? 1/4 inch strip of the white. I am going to go ahead and use cinnamon cider. So let's grab that stamp pad, and we are going to stamp, tap, tap, tap lightly. So I have ink all over my stamp, and let's go ahead and stamp this down, and want to make sure that I'm on my white. There we go. And I need one more because I've got 2 cards. So I'm going to come over here a little bit and stamp the second one. Hopefully it's straight. Oh yeah, I did good. I love it when it turns out, you know. All right, let's close this up. Put that aside. We are going to go ahead and grab our scissors over here. I can get a hold of them. And we are going to take this. We're just going to do a sweet angle. And let's see, on this one, let's see, that will go on this one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one down on this side straight, and then I'm going to angle this one that side. Okay, let's put that up here. We're getting there. We're almost there. All right, and then the last thing I have is our Just Jade gingham ribbon. It comes in a trio pack of ribbons with these other 2. So if you're looking in the catalog, you have the basic that has white, Misty Moonlight, and white twine with some silver glitter in there, and then you have the Just Jade gingham. I'm using the gingham, and we're going to use that around our card. So let's put our pieces together. Get this all finalized here so you can see this beautiful card. And where's my, there we go. There's that. This is our stamp and seal. I know there's all kinds of things you can use for adhesive. Some people choose to use the liquid glue that we have. Some people like to use the Stamp and Seal Plus. I use the Stamp and Seal. That holds it very, very well. All right, before we put it on the base, we've got to add our ribbon. So let's take this ribbon, and where would it be best? Maybe kind of right here. Let's see here. I want to put that kind of right there. Don't want to cover up my too much of my sunflower. Actually, I think I'm going to come right at the top on this one. And I am just going to put a knot, just a simple knot, which kind of looks like a faux bow, a fake bow, if you will. So if you're new to my channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you get notifications when I upload another one of my videos. We'll be doing the 12 weeks of fall here, starting this week. All right, now guess what? I actually think I'm going to make this one a landscape. And let's take this guy. There we go. We're going to use some dimensionals and pop this up. So this is kind of a longer piece, so I'm going to use 3 so it doesn't get all smushed up and bowed. And that's the fun thing when you stamp it this way and you've got these 2 pieces, you can choose to do this landscape or just what's the other, vertical. There we go. Bring this up a little bit like that. Nice. All right, so card number 1 almost done. There's this one. We're going to lay this down right on top of here. Now you could have used the bumblebee as your background, but I really thought that cinnamon cider is what makes it look like fall is on its way. I'm going to bring that up close and you can see how pretty that all comes together with the sunflower set. If you want to add some bling, you know what's really fun is our Wink of Stella. It's glitter on a brush, right? So if I can get it apart here. This is probably why I had it laying down. Yeah, this is, there we go. All right, so what do? You just rub that glitter on. And again, it just, it will, can you see how that glitter is in the middle there? And you can do as much or as little as you'd like. Okay, there's that first one. Put that up there. And let's go ahead and get this one put together. Now, how do I want to do this? I think we will come around the top right here. And let's go ahead and put this onto the cinnamon cider. Make sure to join me on Facebook and let me know what you'd like to see. I mean, I already have lots of ideas for the 12 weeks of fall, but we have some beautiful stamp sets in our annual catalog along with the mini catalog that's going on. And right now we have the second part of our celebration, and you have until the end of September to purchase $50 or more in product to qualify to get a free product. So that is something that is going on right now. Now, I didn't tell you, but these sunflowers also have coordinating dies that you can purchase to go with them, which is amazing. I did share recently some sunflower stuff on my Facebook page. So there, we're going to put that ribbon here. And again, if you have questions on anything, please let me know because I am here to help. I want you to enjoy all these products just as much as I do and answer any questions to teach you anything that I can, all right? Let's take some more dimensionals. We're going to pop this one up, our other saying. And I have thanks a bunch because I send lots of thank you cards. And so if you purchase one of my classes, if you are in my In Color Club, if you basically purchase with me for anything, then yes, I do send thank you cards. All right, so that goes down at the bottom, and then let's put this on our base, and then we have our 2 cards done. And this is our first week of our 12 weeks of fall, and I plan to have these uploaded weekly, and my plan is to have them pop up on Tuesdays, but make sure you hit that follow or the bell so that you get that notification. All right, so here we are. Look at this. 2 cards stamping that one sheet, and we just cut that apart. So what do you think about that? Let me grab this. All right, that is a wrap. But I wanted to start off with some beautiful sunflower cards because that's what's happening right now that looks so gorgeous. If you see the sunflower fields, oh my goodness, they are awesome. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Have a blessed day, evening, week. Till next time. Bye-bye.